poster is not clear. That's not readable.
Sir, just a moment, sir. I request all the participants be on mute for a minute or two. I request all the participants be on mute for a minute or two. Rana is our moderator. Rana, can you please initiate the
Yes, sir. So, can we please make Mr. Miraj Fahim our presenter? Because I'm unable to. Is that possible, sir?
Who is that?
Miraj Fahim, sir, the speaker.
Yeah, I already made him a co-host and he is already unmuted.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope we are audible and we're almost on time. Like it's 3:05 now, and I feel it's on time. Okay, so today we are here to discuss mainly about the entrepreneurship opportunities that we can have during pandemic because this is a situation that we have to live with, right? It's not the pandemic, but what's going on. It's supposed to become a normal part of our lives, and we have to move on and go on with our lives with it. And when it comes to going on with our lives, it's about having a regular, a shift to it. So entrepreneurship personally means a lot to me. I'm very new to it. In fact, I'm not even an entrepreneur as such, but it interests me a lot. And for many of us, like since you all have joined, that is for sure that you all want to be an entrepreneur or want to know about it, right? So for all of us, it's like a normal thing, right? So in this pandemic situation, we have to still live our normal lives. Hence, we even like if you are inclined towards entrepreneurship or we have an interest towards it, so we need to live that as well, right? So I'm really happy to know that we have a very diverse crowd over here. We have people from pharmacy colleges, we have people from literally every field, because obviously entrepreneurship is not just related to the commerce fields, but it's related to all. So, well, that's about the topic. I hope you all enjoy it. I hope it makes sense to all of you. I'll say a little about the host, Miraj Fahim. He has started his entrepreneurship, what we say, drive or whatever we call it, from a very young age. That is when he was in second or third year of his engineering, and that is a great thing according to me. Apart from that, he's also like not directly related to it, but he has learned everything in the course of 11 to 12 years, and that is great according to me. And also, he's currently associated with a business incubator. I'll just quickly say what a business incubator is. A business incubator is a place that where if you go with an idea, just a raw idea, but you know what you want to do, that's it, right? If you go to them with an idea, they help you with every possible thing it takes to launch your idea into the market, and it is brilliant according to me. How easy is it? Just go with your idea, just be clear about it, and there is an organization, you can go there and you can say, okay, this is my idea, I need your help, and they are ready to help you if your idea obviously gets selected. So there is this organization called Adventure Park, and the best thing about it is that it is student run and it is for students. Like everyone working over there, except of course Miraj Fahim, everyone else over there is a student, including me and my team, Ilyas, Marzia, Zaki, etc. Will forward their list to you as well. So if you just have an idea, and if this webinar kicks the entrepreneurial thing in you and you get an idea or anything, you can always contact us. So that is about Adventure Park, and you can follow us on Instagram. We have a very interactive page over there, and also this group which we have created for the webinar thing, we'll convert it into a small entrepreneurial community as well. So stay stuck with us. And okay, Mr. Miraj Fahim, can you please take over?
Yeah, before Miraj take over the session, I would just like to introduce the institution, Stanley College of Engineering and Technology for Women. Is autonomous institution, and we have our director on the board now. I request Director Sir, Dr. Vinay Babu Sir, to please introduce the institution and also take inspire us.
Good afternoon, Professor Ramakrishna, and good afternoon, Raina, and now the main speaker, Miraz, another faculty of the one or two different colleges, and maybe young entrepreneur, enthusiastic young people. Good afternoon, everyone. Really, the situation which now going on in the world is making us to have a greater and greater challenges. And this particular, I mean, whatever the obstacles that we are getting, so that has to be converted into challenges, and these challenges into different opportunities. And in that particular angle only, we are trying to develop this sort of webinars, this sort of talks and all. And anyhow, coming to our Stanley College of Engineering and Technology, The college was started in 2008, and now with the age of 12 years, so in the last couple of years only, we started getting all the accreditation parts. All our UG courses has been accredited by NBA. All the four existing branches were there. That is computer science, ECE, Triple E, and IT. And last year itself, we have started another branch of data science branch, that was computer science engineering name we have given, but basically the syllabus we have designed is data science. And from this year onwards, we are also starting the, again, UG course on artificial intelligence and data science. ACT, formal uh, approval has been come, and the letter is on the way. Anyhow, thanks to ACT and Usmania University, which are encouraging in this particular field. And presently the new emerging fields, the data science, artificial intelligence, machine languages, are on the whole, the computer science itself is a field of, a personal skill entrepreneur. If an individual is of his own capacity, his capacities need not be bounded to one particular organization. His skills need not be just limited to one particular time and one particular technology itself. So the new technologies which are coming can be adopted in such a way that as per his own challenges, as per his own talents, his personal developments could also take place. So anyhow, to have a personal development instead of having a job with one particular organization. Of course, nowadays organizations also will be giving us good encouragement in the development, but at the same time, if the development is on his own skills and according to his own ideas and his own thoughts, so then really the development, the working partner, working enthusiasm itself will be fully with full spirit. Anybody can work, and at the same time, the results which we'll be getting from that particular work will be enthusiastic, and that will further encourage the individuals, and that will which will helpful to not only to the individuals, and then to the country, and the technology and the whole. So in the and at the same time, when situations like this particular situations come, that is maybe the situation in which we cannot go to the offices, we cannot go to the groups and work, and at the same time, and leave about this particular situation. Especially in our country, the women, though we say so many things, so many equal rights, so many all the things are there. Unfortunately, still our women are not getting full opportunities to go out and work. So this particular entrepreneurship skills will give a proper training, and proper opportunities to the women faculty, women young students, so that they can have their own ideology, and they can develop on their own. So really, for women, the entrepreneurship is a very good skill. So really, I congratulate the organizers for giving such a newly and modesty topic, which are very much needful to the entire youth, and not only general youth, but especially the women. Thank you, and all the best for this particular talk which will be going on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your enlightenment on the entrepreneurship and the academia. And it's a privilege for the Stanley College of Engineering and Technology for Women to invite Miraj Fahid. Who is entrepreneurial coach, and in fact, so having good experience on nurturing the young entrepreneurs. I congratulate Rana Ali Khan, Joha, and all the team for putting a lot of efforts. And now, without I don't want to stand in between the participants and then the speaker. So it's honor for us to invite the Miraj to take the session. I hand over to the Miraj.
Thank Yeah, so thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for the invite, and thank you so much, Vinay sir, for the introduction. Again, it's a pleasure. I've been to Stanley once, and it's always a pleasure associating myself with Stanley. Such wonderful, ambitious women doing great work, and Again, thank you so much for having me. The topic is extremely interesting. Of course, it's very real time and I would say relevant to the current state of affairs, not just relevant to the country, not just contextual to India, but globally applicable and globally relevant title. When Rana first asked me to about talk on this topic, I was pretty intrigued myself. But then there was one word in the title which continued to prick me. The keyword I'm talking about, the word that continued to prick me that I'm talking about is the word opportunity. And I will be sharing a short presentation. I hope everybody can see my presentation. So the first things first, I want to take out the word opportunity out of the title, out of the sentence. I am against the idea of finding opportunities during times like these. Again, I'm against the idea.
Can you close to the mic? And there is a little disturbance. We are not able to catch your words.
Is this better now?
Yep.
Yeah. So what I was saying is, I would firstly take out the word opportunity out of the title. I don't mean to say every opportunity means negative. Every opportunity means can go in the wrong sentence. But trying to find opportunities in a pandemic like this, situation like this, can be a little difficult and demeaning to a majority of the population that that might not be able to find opportunities, that might not be able to can everybody please mute themselves? All right. So what I was saying is, it's kind of difficult for everybody, for us to ask, everybody to find opportunity in times like these when people are having difficulties trying to find 2 meals a day, trying to survive, themselves, survive or sustain their families. So I would rather want to use maybe a little more, a different word. I don't know what that word is, but for the lack of a better word, I just want to strike the word opportunity in this case. In fact, if I'm not wrong, all of us hate Uber for the search pricing that Uber does. For Uber, it's opportunity. Whenever Uber finds there is heavy rainfall in a particular part of the city, the prices in that part of the city obviously go up due to the demand going up, and that's basic economics. We can't blame Uber for that, but we definitely hate Uber, for increasing the prices. So if we, can apply that rule in a situation like this, and if we kind of, empathize with people, let's say who are stranded, then maybe we would not want to use, the word opportunity. So this is. I want to get started on this note. The most important part of, trying to solve a problem, or trying to find a challenge, convert a challenge into an opportunity, trying to solve it, build an empire on it, all of this is based on only one fact. And this word is something that I have been using a lot, not just during the pandemic, but this is my favorite keyword even before the pandemic, and the keyword is empathy. The most important thing that we have to always have on top of our minds and top of our hearts and deep within our hearts is empathy. If we are not empathizing with people who are going through the pandemic, who are not affected, with the pandemic, anyone and everyone involved inside and from outside, then it's going to be extremely difficult for us to think like human beings. We will then, ourselves become predators who are looking for opportunities to probably, survive, to sustain ourselves. Again, while that might not be wrong, maybe this is not the right time to do that. However, There are a lot of challenges, like Vinay sir said, right? During situations like these, there are tons of challenges, and that's where we can actually pick up challenges and start solving them. We try to pick the challenges up with the right mindset, with the right intent, and trust me, the solutions that you guys will be building will be the most beautiful ones that will not just last during the pandemic, but you will become the heroes of the people who will remember you after the pandemic and in fact forever, right? So that has to be something that should rule your minds, rule your hearts, and that is how I would insist you to build, your mindset. Stop looking for, opportunities. Start looking for problems. Start solving problems. There is a very key difference in trying to, find a problem and trying to find an opportunity. When you're starting to look, when you're wanting to solve, wanting to identify an opportunity, usually there's a lot of mathematics involved. But when you're solving a problem, there's very little mathematics involved. There's your heart overtakes your mind. In the case of opportunities, that's not the case, right? And recently I said this thing: your heart is your cost center, right? So whatever your heart likes might not be profitable, might not be in your best interest. Mind is your profit center, right? Usually when you apply your mind to things, you get best results out of it. The results are not always some zero. They are, and on. So that is the first and the most important thing. Maybe take a step back, start empathizing with people who are going through problems, who are going through challenges, who are facing tough times. Empathize with them, sit with them, talk to them, see what you can do for them. Pick up a problem statement and start solving problems. This is the most basic thing, and this is something that you can find anybody and everybody speaking on the internet. However, what I want to is take you guys a little bit, forward. Literally every sector has been affected due to every sector, and I have listed down a few, sectors on my slide, but it's obviously not limited to, to these sectors only. One of the most important and badly affected sectors is the hospitality and the travel sector. I have not even listed it on my slide because there is a reason for it. I'll come on to that one. But if you start looking at things, education, healthcare, community, real estate, small businesses, gig economy, um, at home services, these are one of the most badly affected, sectors. These are the sectors that have caused, let's say, negative, GDP losses to the country. These have caused our country a lot of value. This has affected a lot of industries, a lot of jobs. A lot of people not only lost their jobs, but it has these things. Pandemic has destroyed their careers. People have been working, in the education sector for, let's say, 20 years, 25 years. People who are passionate about teaching, who are passionate about building schools, right? And they know nothing apart from that, right? Right now, they are at a standstill. They have no clue what they need to do, what they can do. I'm involved with a lot of, school chains, very large school chains. And the only thing that they say is, we are running our classes on Zoom or, Google Meets or whatever, but then parents don't, treat these classes as classes. Parents don't want to pay us. And if they don't pay us, how are we going to pay back the teachers? And if we don't pay the teachers, how are the teachers going to survive? How are they going to sustain, right? It's a cycle. And when you realize one bit of your whole, food chain is affected, it destroys the whole food chain. And this is true in everybody's case. The only thing that we need here right now, regardless of the industry, is empathy, right? We want the schools to empathize with teachers. We want the parents to empathize with, schools. We want the kids to empathize with teachers. We want the teachers to empathize with parents and everybody else, because there are a lot of parents who have lost their jobs. They paying the school fee might not be a feasible solution for them, right? Also, the solution that we are talking about for delivering education is broken. Education cannot, your school curriculum or college curriculum cannot be delivered on Zoom. It cannot be delivered on Google Meet. It cannot be delivered on, random video conferencing, platforms. That could be a hack. That could be, a timely, let's say, jugaad in Indian sense. But then that's not the solution. This problem is wide open. There are a lot of VC companies, there are a lot of venture capitalists waiting for entrepreneurs to, build a product, build a solution that will solve this problem. But have we figured out, or have we come, closer to solving this problem? No. And all of us agree to this, right? You join a Zoom class and half of the class is sleeping, and the teacher, the poor teacher can't even, do anything. At least in a class, they can throw a chalk and hit the guy or the girl and wake them up. They can't even do that on, Zoom. And there's a lot of abuse, there's a lot of, misuse. There's a lot of, disturbance in the whole online delivery model, which, like I said, is already broken. So that's a huge problem statement, because the first thing that the government started shutting when they realized, we are entering a pandemic is schools. They started shutting educational institutions. They started shutting colleges. They started shutting engineering colleges. They started, shutting all these places, because and that shutting them was totally valid. But the point is, we do not treat it as an essential part of our lives. It's not an essential service. Education is not essential. So if we say education is not essential, then probably, we are, this is going to take us maybe, let's say, 50 or 100 years back, because definitely education is essential. But the way education is being delivered, or it can be delivered, has to change. The problem is we are still stuck in the 19th century method of delivering education, the delivering method of the pedagogy, right? All of this is centuries old, and maybe I'm not sure about this, but maybe now is the time for you, me, and everyone to dig deeper into it and find a solution that will, take us from 19th to 20 and 21st century, right? Changes in the curriculum has to be, brought in. The textbook model of education that we have been following from a really long time, maybe 100 years old, cannot continue to go on in this online era of delivering education. Your textbooks cannot be delivered online. So the content has to change. The context has to change. The pedagogy has to change. It cannot be, so let's break it down into a simple statement. When the schools were open, teachers never went to a student and asked them to and taught them, right? It was the student who woke up, got ready for the school, sat in the bus, went to the school, joined the class, and then the teacher came in. So it was a student-driven model. Schools, the physical schools that we're talking about, were student-driven models, my dear friends. The Zoom method of delivering education is not student-driven. It's teacher-driven. It's school-driven. It's the teacher and the school who are insisting students to join the class. Does the student want to join the class? No. There's zero motivation for the student to join the class. They are sitting in the comfort of their home. They are sitting in, they don't want to do it. They hate it, right? How are we going to change that? Unless and until we rethink, unless and until we go back to the whiteboard, we start, redesigning the way our content was written, the way our lessons were written, the way our, curriculum was designed. Until and unless we go back to the whiteboard and start, redoing this, redesigning this, I think it's going to be extremely difficult for the kids, and it's, I think, unfair, on our part to even ask the kids to, adjust to this model, because it's broken, and we can't ask them to adjust to something that's broken. When you find something broken, what you primarily have to do is fix it, and it's on us to fix this broken thing. And if we can't do that, we can at least, stay away from kids and not force them into something that is broken. Same case with the healthcare. This is a very, very bad and severe pandemic, right? The way it's growing is crazy. It's definitely, extremely sensitive and all that. But looking at the state of affairs of healthcare of at least our country, we know that we are in a very, very bad place. And now is the time for us to at least wake up and make it happen. These are billion-dollar sectors that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about $1 million. I'm not talking about $100 million. I'm not talking about $500 million. I'm talking about billions of dollars. In fact, in some cases, it's hundreds of billion dollars, billion with a big bold B, guy, right? It's a huge market, which means we can accommodate at least 100 companies. We can accommodate, we need thousands of entrepreneurs like you. We need a lot of problem solvers. We need a lot of mentors like you. A lot of professors, lecturers are probably part of this session. We need mentors like you on board who will be supporting entrepreneurs, right? Wannabe entrepreneurs, student entrepreneurs, experienced entrepreneurs, failed entrepreneurs, everybody. We need to bring in everybody, pull in all sorts of talents that is available to us. Leverage everybody, because this is what the country needs. India needs us right now. Every time, it's not about what has the country done for us. It's the time now is asking you, what have you and what can you do for the country? And if you can't do anything for the country, then I think we do not deserve the right to even ask what has the country done for us, right? And this is the time for us to prove our worthiness. If we don't do that, maybe we are just a burden on the country. We have to go out. We have to start solving this problem. And when you're solving this problem, take the mentality of making money away from it. Please, for God's sake. Eventually, you will make money. Solve a problem for 1 billion people. You are already a billionaire. That's the easiest way to become a billionaire. And every problem, every industry vertical, every sector that I have listed down here is worth more than $1 billion. We are a country of 130 crore plus people, which means if you actually put your heart to a problem that your mind recognizes, then trust me, you are a billionaire. It's just a matter of you putting your heart to what your mind wants to do, right? And do it without taking, without the commercial factors influencing your choice of solving a problem. Do not be like, okay, I'm not going to solve healthcare because it's just $5 billion. I will solve education because it's $50 billion. No, if you're doing that, then you are planning to fail. You are aimed at, you will be doomed basically, right? Real estate is at its all-time low, and nobody has a clue why. There's no map behind it. Primarily during this pandemic, when all of this started, people stayed back at their homes, right? Which means everybody needed a roof. So technically, the demand for real estate should be high. But then, if you correlate it with the prices, market prices going down, nobody has a clue why. So because it's an indirect effect. The direct effect is people do not want to buy anything, right? Which means people want to hold on to their savings, hold on to their dear savings. They don't want to, go out and start spending money because they're not sure when the market will open. They're not sure when can they rejoin their job. They have no clue when is the next time they will be seeing their paychecks. They have no clue how long will their savings will help them to, sustain and survive. And that's exactly why people are not going out to buy things. They are only holding on to the essential things, that's important for them in their daily lives, right? Which is groceries, which may be, let's say, healthcare, right? And in a time like this, you cannot ask people to, spend money on luxuries. You cannot expect them to spend money on things that maybe, come under second or third degree of importance. Right now, the most important thing is being in good state of health, physical health and mental health, equally important. And next comes education, which, like I said, is still broken. So that's a huge, huge opportunity in itself. Small businesses are the ones who are most affected, right? All the shops were shut. All the shops are shut. They have literally zero revenues coming in. They have literally zero, cash flow, which means even if you say each small business employed one person, we are talking about hundreds and thousands of job losses. You can solve this problem and become a billionaire like this. What does that mean? That means go out, empathize with these businesses, empathize with these people, go and start talking to schools, go and start talking to healthcare centers, go and start talking to small clinics, large clinics, hospital, go and talk to anybody that you can find, empathize with them and start, sit down with your friends, start brainstorming, start solving problems for these people. Once you start doing that, trust me, again, sorry for using the word, but the opportunity is huge. It's a more than $1 billion opportunity. We are talking about hundreds of billions of dollars, right? But then do not chase them because of the size of the market. Do not chase them because size of the opportunity. Do not chase them because it's going to make you famous. Do not chase it, because that is going to make you lots of money. Do it because you feel for it. Do it if you empathize with them. Do it if you think you can genuinely relate with them and solve the problem for them. If you can't do that, then please stay away. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to do it. If you do it that way, then maybe you're coming in the way of genuine people who genuinely wants to solve problems for these people, right? Gig economy. I mean, India is, a work in progress nation, right? I would not call it a developing country. I would call it, a work in progress nation. When I say it's a work in progress nation, it means there's so many things that are happening parallelly. When we say there are so many things happening parallelly, it means, you guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, we're able to hear, but little clumsiness is there. So can you put your mic closer?
Okay.
Yeah, now it's fine.
All right. So when I say India is a work in progress nation, we have a long way to go. When I say we have a long way to go, it's very, very simple. We are a work in progress nation. There are so many things we citizens have to fix. We have so many problems to solve. We have a lot of people who are looking up to us to solve a lot of problems for them, mainly because maybe we are the privileged ones. Maybe, we are privileged to have access to good quality education. We are privileged to have good quality, to have access to good quality mentors. We are privileged to have access to good quality, let's say, network, which we have to use to solve problems for, the people who are less privileged. We have to use, our brains, our education, our network, our mentors, and everything that is available, to us to solve problems for these people. When you start solving problems for these people, nothing can hold you back, guys. Trust me. And the high that you're going to get from solving problems for all these people, it's going to take you to cloud 9, right? It's going to take you to the last sky possible. And trust me, there's no coming back from there. That should be it. That is the opportunity for you. And that's the opportunity in real sense, right? If this had not happened, maybe, you would have been in the grind trying to follow things that, people have already figured out, roads that are already built, and, you're just walking on the same old road. But now nature, God, let's say, the scenario has presented you with this problem, and this did not happen just like that. Maybe it is for you to solve the problem of, hundreds and thousands of people who are affected, who did not, do not have access to good quality education, who do not have access to good quality healthcare, who do not have, access to good quality, or good standard of living. Their quality of life is not as good as it should be, right? Work for solving the problems for, hundreds and thousands of small businesses. Solve these problems for hundreds and thousands of, daily wage laborers who survive on the gig economy. Solve this for hundreds and thousands of, countrymen, citizens who are looking for, a new job every single day so that they can, go back to their homes with, meals. Their families looking up to them. That's the real problem at hand. I am not going to talk about how do you go ahead and build a billion-dollar business. That's not what I'm going to talk about, because this is not the time to talk about that. We definitely, that is something we will definitely do. That is something we will definitely, look up to, but at the right time. This is neither the time. This is neither the context. So these are, a few things that I wanted to bring your attention to. I hope you guys relate with me. India has always been, agriculture dependent and service sector heavy country, right? Majority of our exports, majority of our GDP has been coming from agriculture sector, has been, comes from, exporting IT services to developed countries, IT services to, dollar value, high dollar value nations, right? Maybe this is the time for us to start thinking about creating and building products. We have to change our mindset. We have to come out of the solutions service mindset, and we have to build a product mindset. What's the main difference between a services mindset and a product mindset? Service mindset is, pretty decentralized. You are dependent on a third party. You're not the creator of a product in the service sector. Somebody else is creating something and you're offering your services based on it. Now just imagine, look at the example of Google. Google gets more than 1 trillion hits per day. I'm talking about google.com. I'm not talking about any other services. I'm not talking about other Google products. I'm not talking about YouTube. I'm not talking about Gmail. I'm not talking about Google Chrome. I'm not talking about tons of other Google products. I'm only talking about google.com. Google.com gets more than 1 trillion hits per day. That's huge. That's a lot in a world whose population is about 7.5 billion people. Google gets more than 1 trillion hits per day on its page, right? Even if it starts charging a cent for its product, it can kill the global economy. That's the power of building a product that people love. That's the power of relying on product, and that's the main reason why USA has an economy that is thriving, right? They have always been product focused. They have always been focused on building solutions, building products that can reach billions of people with minimal efforts. That's not the case with the services. Services needs billions of people to serve billions of people. If you talk about, let's say, Swiggy, right? Every order that Swiggy generates has to be picked up from somewhere and then go and get delivered, somewhere. There is a lot of services component in it, right? And when you want to scale things with, service heavy components, they need money. They need a lot of money, right? Which means your profit margins are going to go down. So what I'm going to insist, what I'm going to very humbly request is stop thinking services, right? Please stop thinking services. Now is the time for us to start thinking about building products that a billion users can use at once. You have to deliver your solution to a billion people with one product without you having to put in extra resources or extra efforts in it, right? That's what we mean when we say scale things up, right? It can never be the case that you have to continue to grow your team to serve billions of people. No, look at WhatsApp is a product that serves billions of people. 1.3 1.5 billion people use WhatsApp every day, and only 20 engineers support it. Only 20 engineers build and support it. Look at the profitability margins of WhatsApp. That's the kind of mentality we have to build. We have to build products, and WhatsApp is an essential product. We cannot live without WhatsApp. We cannot live without WhatsApp. We have to build products that people are going to live. People can't live without. We have to build, products that will become essential part of everybody's lives, right? We have to build products that can scale with minimal efforts, that can scale with, minimal human resources, right? With minimal engineers and all of that, which is not the case with the services. It's time taking, time consuming, resources heavy, there's a lot of time and money involved, so many friction, a lot of very high resistance, high friction, and all of that. But if we start we at Adventure Park get a lot of ideas, and majority of them always are service focused, and that's where I go crazy. I'm like, can we stop thinking services for once? But then I think that is a community mindset. We are so influenced, or we see things on daily basis, and that's how we think. Maybe we need, not maybe, I'm pretty sure we need change in the direction. We need change in the thought process. We need change in the mindset, and the change has to come in now. I want you guys to start talking about product-based solutions for the industries and the sectors that we just saw on the previous slide. That is what's going to make you a billionaire. Okay, becoming a billionaire is not a bad thing, but then being focused and obsessed about becoming a billionaire is a bad thing, right? Start solve the problem for billions of people, and you will automatically become a billionaire. However, the focus has to remain on solving problems, and like I said, if possible, focus your growth based on your product. Build products that will contribute to your growth. Build products that billions of people can use. Build products that will solve problems for a billion people. Build products that a billion people are going to love, right? And to be very honest, products have a very high rate of success. Products can go viral easily than the services. Products can grow much faster than other service focused businesses. And this is something that I really insist you guys to start looking at product driven growth. This is again extremely important. What we have to look for is problems that are available, problem statements that are locally available, which means I don't want you to go to China. I don't want you to go to America. I don't want you to go to Australia and look at what are the problems that these guys have. Right? It's easy to start looking at them and start solving problems for them because they are paying markets. The primary difference between the Western markets and the Indian markets, the primary difference between the Indian markets and the Western markets is Indian market is a do it for me market, and Western markets are do it yourself market, right? You do not need to educate a lot of people a lot about the products. Somebody's scribbling on the screen. Can you please stop scribbling? Okay. So India is a do it for me market, which means people in India want others, or want a service provider to solve problem for them, to do it for them, and they are willing to pay for it. But that's not the case in the Western countries. In the Western countries, people would like to do things themselves. People like to solve their own problems. But then, the focus is again on finding products. The focus is again on, building solutions that a lot of people can use at once. We have a lot of problems available. India is a country of 130 crore plus people, which means we have 130 crore plus problems. So the first and the most important thing is you get out of your house, you go out and you start looking at problems that you can relate with, problems that you can, come up with a solution for, problem statements that you can actually feel for, that you can relate with, that you understand, that you can find help and support for, problems that you can get started with easily, right? And there are a lot of them in every sector possible. It could be the local, dosha bandi that you have near your home. The guy's business is affected. Go start, chatting with him, talk to him, see what you can do for him. Maybe you can come with a business model for him, right? And if you can solve it for that one, dosha bandi, you can solve it for the thousands of dosha bandis that are available in Hyderabad, right? And then you can do for hundreds of thousands of them that are available everywhere in India, right? And then maybe you can take this outside India and solve this for the world, because it's a global problem, right? We have bandis, US has food trucks. So we call it differently. It looks different, but then the problem is same. The business is same, right? The challenge statement is same. The problem statement is same. The challenges are same. So go out, start, building solutions for your local stakeholders, and then you can solve it globally. All right. Finally, this is, what everything boils down to. This is what we are talking about, and this is what it takes. Focus on solving problems, focus on serving people, and then focus on scaling things up. And it comes and it happens in that same order. You cannot start focusing on, doing things that scale. It's okay to do things that don't scale. India has seen, a huge spike in the number of entrepreneurs. India has, seen, a great upsurge in the number of, people, coming out and wanting to associate themselves with startups and all of that, which is great. We need a lot of entrepreneurs, who go out and create jobs and all of that, solve problems and all of that. But it's equally important for us to do things that do not scale. We need not be, always obsessed with the idea of scaling things up. The whole concept, or, the whole idea of being obsessed with, scaling, the ability to scale things up comes from, the VC-backed businesses. VC is venture capitalists. When they put in, money in your company, they want to see how big the business can be, how big is the market, how big can you go, how big of a market part can you capture with their money, right? And that's scale that we're talking about, which is nice. I'm not saying it's wrong, but what I'm talking about is it's also okay for us to do things that do not scale. It's okay for us to do things, that have a huge impact, because eventually impact scales, and that's scaling as well, right? So, and since we are, going through an extremely tough phase, we are going through an extremely tough time. What we have to focus on is solving the problem, serving your community, start, serving your local community, then go on and expand your horizons, start, serving this community outside your local neighborhood, go to the maybe district level, you can go to the state level, then you can go national, and then, you'll eventually go global, but start local, right? and start with the focus with a mindset of serving your community, right? And community is what is available to you right outside your doorstep. That's what you have to do. That is what I want you to do. That is what you can do right now. You can get out and maybe, you already might know a lot of people who are going through a lot of, challenges. Sit down with them, talk to them, start, solving problems for them. And when you start solving problems for them, trust me, you will hit the jackpot, because India right now is sitting on a pot of gold that we don't realize is a pot of gold, right? This consciousness, this self-awareness will only come through education. Will only come if we go out and start hustling with the right mindset, not with the mindset of leveraging this challenging times to make money, but leveraging this challenging times to solve problems for a billion people in the hopes of making their lives better and eventually making our lives better. So this is what I had to share with you guys. I want to open the session for question and answers now. Over to you, Rana.
Thank you so much, Mehraj. We have a few questions. We have one actually. It is how to serve the ideas for doing business. We have one. And
can you please drop in the questions in the chat box? I'll pick it from there.
There are a few questions here, Mehraj. One is how the scale helps a person for entrepreneurship. That was the first one.
I will. Okay. There's a lot of drawing on my screen, which is restricting my view. So, okay.
Okay. Shall I read out the questions to you, Mehraj?
I got it. So this question is from Satish. He asked how the scale helps a person for entrepreneurship. Like you said, scaling is basically expanding your market, right? You are doing things for the larger group of people. If there is a problem that you're solving for 100 people, scaling it up means you're solving it for 100 and 100,000 people, right? So that's scale. And basically, it depends on the size of the market. It depends on the total available market. And for example, let's say if you are into gas services, eventually, there are 1,000 people taking cabs, your focus will be scaling up to 10,000 people taking your cab, right? So the ability to scale things up. In services, again, for you to scale it up, for example, cab is a service, right? For you to serve 10,000 people, you have to have more number of cars. You have to have more number of drivers. You have to have team to serve and support the drivers and the cars and all of that, right? So that is a service model. If you look at the product model like WhatsApp does not have to do anything new. It just have to scale its servers up to accommodate more number of users, right? And that's pretty easy. At least relatively easy than to add more number of cars and more number of drivers. So that is what I meant when I said scale and scaling products and scaling services. I hope I've answered your question.
Mehraj, I got one question in person. I guess someone has sent it by mistake. I'll read it out for you.
Yeah.
Second.
Just put it down there. I will be taking.
I'll put it down here.
They come. Yeah. So, Vaishnavi, what is the impact of COVID-19 on India's ease of doing business? Kindly explain, sir. Brilliant question. So I think India's ease of doing business should improve, because we want more number of people to be doing business than ever. That's the need of the hour. And if the government can, do something to encourage people to easily set up businesses, give tax relaxations, simplify the process of getting permissions, simplify the process of, compliances and rules and regulations, and simplify the process of getting foreign direct investments, so on and so forth. I think that will definitely encourage a lot of people to pick up entrepreneurship, to pick up people to pick up and set up industries, to people to pick up and set up businesses, and people setting up industries, people setting up offices and businesses will generate jobs, which will mobilize cash flow in the economy, and maybe that will obviously help the economy. So impact is definitely there, but then I think positively we are going to come out of it, make it even more easy. Telangana government has some of the most popular ease of doing. Okay, I don't know who is scribbling on the screen, but please stop scribbling.
Yeah, I request all the participants, don't use this working space.
Maybe I'll just shut my presentation. All right. So yeah, so Telangana government has one of the most encouraging and promising ease of doing business rules. You can get permissions in less than 15 days. There is TS bypass and a lot of other policies and that encourage entrepreneurs to do things fast. I answered your question. Next question is from
Miraj, there is this
Subha.
one from.
Yeah, just put it down there. I'll take it up from there.
Okay. Sure.
What is the first thing important to focus on after you formulate your idea, both product-based and service-based? The next, the most important thing after you have formulated your idea is validating your idea. And the only way you can validate, there are a lot of ways to validate your ideas. There are a few technical ways and there are a few fundamental ways. Technical ways are validating it by doing competitor research, market research, primary and secondary research. The fundamental, fundamental way of validating your idea is, trustworthy, which is you going out and talking to your target market, you going out and talking to people, trying to validate your ideas. And I think that's the best way. I would suggest you to do, both the technical validations and the fundamental validations side by side parallelly, and you will hit your solution and validate it. I answered your question. How to serve the ideas for doing business? I am not sure I understood this question right. Can you please rephrase it, Satish? What sort of tax benefits available for startup companies? Oh, interesting question. So there are a lot of tax benefits. For example, Government of India under Startup India scheme has relaxed, taxes for the first 3 years. So you do not, you can, so you should be applying for a startup certificate. Once you get granted the startup certificate, you can, apply for it's called there's a policy or scheme called ATIAC, if I'm getting it right. And once you get the ATIAC certificate, the first 3 years of you doing business, there will be tax relaxations on you. So you need not be paying taxes for the first 3 years of setting up your business unless you follow the rules and regulations. I hope I've answered your question. What is the position of unorganized sector after COVID? From Lakshmi. Unorganized sector is one of the most affected sectors, and I really think the whole scale of problems that unorganized sectors are going through is huge, and there lies this responsibility on us, not just opportunity, but responsibility on us to pick the unorganized sector and try to come up with solutions and products for them that can help them to get their lives back on track. they are very, very badly affected. So that is that. And when I said gig economy, that is what I meant. I wrote gig economy on one of my slides, and what I meant by gig economy was unorganized sector. So it's one of the most badly affected and hurt sectors. So definitely we got to pick it up. Everyone is talking about India as an alternate place for raw material and manufacturing. Many goods COVID-19 in China. Is that true? And can I explore it? Absolutely. Coincidentally, I was in California last December, and I was lucky enough to be a part of a meetup group, where a robotics and hardware industry focused meetup group, right? And these guys were Germans. Everybody was talking about India as a destination for them to set up their manufacturing unit, right? That's beautiful. That's amazing. And that is what we want. We want, countries, hardware focused countries like Germany, hardware focused countries like, other European countries to look at India and set up their manufacturing unit, because that's not only going to, give us jobs, that is not only going to push our economy, that is also going to push our innovation quotient up. And that is the most important part. We have to push our innovation quotient up. We cannot be continuing to do things, like it used to happen in the past. Traditionally, there was a way of doing things which is fine, which is cool. Then we got to move away from it. We got to innovate, and this is something that I think will definitely help us. I think foreign companies setting up their bases in the country will definitely help, push the innovation quotient up amazingly. I hope I have answered your question, Dr. Acharya. Thank you so much. Sir, if wants to become an entrepreneur, what ideas to be? Like I said, I wrote down a few opportunities, Satish. Education sector, healthcare sector. There is travel and hospitality sector. There is at-home services, right? A lot of people now won't be getting out of their homes, so logistics is something that you can look up to and start, solving the problem for them. These are a few brilliant ideas that you can look up to. Start spending some time on these problem statements, get them refined, get mentors on board, take their help, formulate your, not formulate actually, but freeze your problem statements, try to come up with, ideas to solve these problems, go out and validate those ideas, and then start, deploying them. That's the way to go. Can you justify a bit more, maybe with an example, idea of focusing on building products, not services? Mohammed Khalid. So, like I said, I gave the example of Uber and WhatsApp, right? If you are setting up an Uber, you need cars, you need drivers, you need support team, right? For you to serve 10 customers, maybe you need one car. For you to serve 1,000 customers, you would need 10 cars. For 10,000 customers, you need 100 cars, and so on. That's not the case with WhatsApp. WhatsApp can serve up to 1 billion people without, radically having to add number of people, without radically having to add number of resources, without radically having to add or depend on third parties, right? Very less people dependent, very less resource dependent, very less human, dependency component. That is what I meant. So start focusing on, building things like WhatsApp, beautiful products that become part of everybody's everyday lives. Definitely Uber is beautiful too. Uber is important too, but then I'm talking about the primary difference between a services company and a product company. And I love product companies for their ease of scaling up. I hope I've answered the question, Khalid. What are the financial schemes available to become entrepreneur? Lakshma Reddy Konda. Oh, there are a lot of financial schemes, both from the central government and the state government, Lakshma Reddy. What you can do is reach out to Rana after the session. Rana, get the document from me. I have a document, that details of the financial benefits, subsidies, and that are available for small businesses and budding entrepreneurs. You can share it with anybody who needs it. Thank you so much, everyone. I think that's it for now. Again, it was lovely. Thank you so much for having me. I really hope we as an individual and as citizens of India will come out of the situation with flying colors from out of this really badly and maybe take things, into our stride and make things happen. Thank you so much. Please leave your feedback. It's really important. It will help us improve it, help me improve. Thank you.
We'll forward the feedback form in the group, guys. Please do fill it up. And thank you so much, Miraj, for joining us, for being a part of it. I'd like to thank Ramakrishna sir and also Stanley College on a whole for always supporting me and my wild things that I do. Thank you so much for always being a part of me. It means a lot. I'd also like to thank my friend Zuha, who's a co-organizer with me. Thank you so much for being a support. And please stay connected with us. We'll convert the WhatsApp group into a small community wherein we can always share what we are learning and also for all future sessions that we might have. So thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of it. Thank you, Miraj. Thank you, Ramakrishna sir. And thank you, Zuha. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a lovely rest of the day.
Now.
Very much. And this session is recorded and available in YouTube. So somebody's missed any part of it, please go back and then leave your feedback in the group. I congratulate Rana, Joha, and team. Particularly thank Miraj for giving an enlightenment lecture on entrepreneurship. I thank the management and the director sir for joining with us and encouraging our students like this. So wish you all the best for the future events.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you all the participants. Please be in touch with us in the WhatsApp group.
We'll list that only admins can message things from the group and we can all interact. Okay. Bye-bye. We'll end it now.